When we thought Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity couldn't get any more intense, Nintendo manages to throw us all off by just the game's first cutscene. We thought we knew the outcome of this game. You know, where each champion dies and Hyrule is doomed to wait in a limbo for 100 years until Link can come and save the day. The game is set up to have a very, very tragic ending, as we know in Breath of the Wild. But what if that isn't it? What if the champions do win? In the beginning of Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity's opening, we witnessed the final moments of the Great Calamity battle. Link being on the brink of death, trying to protect Zelda with all he has left, right before Zelda awakens her sacred powers because Link is in that state. This was revealed to us during one of the final memories in Breath of the Wild, one of the most tragic cutscenes we've seen in the game. And in Breath of the Wild, we know that this leads to Zelda sending Link to the Shrine of Resurrection, while she goes and holds off Calamity Ganon for the next 100 years. But in Age of Calamity, where we see the exact moment in which Zelda awakens her powers, we also see a little guardian hidden in a box in Zelda's research room, awakening. Clearly we could tell that this guardian was activated only because Zelda's powers were awoken, somehow connecting this guardian to Zelda and the power of wisdom. Though what's even more bizarre is what happens right after the guardian is activated, as it manages to create a time portal and travel back to time right before the Great Calamity War started. So is this guardian attempting to stop this outcome? The outcome that leads to Breath of the Wild's events? And if so, is Age of Calamity not a part of Breath of the Wild's timeline? Honestly, this is the main problem with time traveling in media. It raises a lot of what-ifs and undermines the events that do occur, as you could just imagine a different timelines where things go differently. But this isn't something that's new to the series, as the series is well known for this if you played Ocarina of Time. Ocarina of Time is known for its timeline split. It splits the series into 3 different timelines, and one of them is where the hero fails, something we don't even see in the outcome of Ocarina of Time, but must interpret happen. So really the possibilities are endless when it comes to different timelines. So could Breath of the Wild be in a timeline where Hyrule has failed, and maybe Breath of the Wild 2 taking place 100 years before Breath of the Wild in the other timeline where Hyrule succeeds? Though that wouldn't make much sense, as we were literally told by Nintendo that this game is said to be covering the events before Breath of the Wild and not an alternate take. So Breath of the Wild 2 can't be an alternate take, could it? But the whole idea behind this time-traveling guardian just confuses everything. I mean, this guardian time-traveling must play a bigger meaning than it leading to the events we already know. Or this guardian time-traveling could just explain why we never see it in Breath of the Wild, as it travels out of its timeline and maybe is destroyed during the events of the Great Calamity. But then why does it exist? Unless it's part of the reason and why they failed, as we see a similar like guardian watching over the heroes. This time this one seems to be corrupt and is spying on them, gathering information, probably for the enemy. So what if that guardian spying on them is also the same guardian that traveled through time, just the one from that current timeline, this time corrupt by Calamity Ganon instead of Zelda's powers, with one powered by the power of wisdom, making it good, and the other powered by the power of malice, making it evil. And the corrupt guardian could be the reason in why the time-traveling guardian fails, as it somehow attempts to stop it or corrupt it, thus making the time-traveling guardian's efforts meaningless by its own self. I know that sounds a bit weird, but that would make the whole concept of the Great Calamity unable to be altered, making its impact far more effective. I mean, knowing that Ashikatek did try to travel back through time and stop all of this and still failed because of it sounds ridiculous. But almost in a way that makes sense, like knowing that your fate just can't be changed. I think it's something very, very sad, but also beautiful in a way. And it could just be there to give players hopes up, as we see something we didn't see in Breath of the Wild, expecting maybe a different outcome, thus raising players' hopes, as most people coming into this game know what's gonna happen. So maybe giving us that false sense of hope is something that will kind of get us in a different mood playing the game and make the ending even more tragic, as some people may believe that they can change Hyrule's fate. In general, this little guardian has given us a lot of theories to work with. While most of them are probably unlikely, and this game should most likely fit the events before Breath of the Wild, but maybe with a slight twist, nothing too crazy to change the game or really split the game into two separate timelines, we really don't know. Nintendo really left all of this up to question just from the beginning cutscene of Age of Calamity. All we know is that this guardian is very, very special, unlike any other Sheikah tech we've seen, even over the Sheikah Slate. And I'll be honest, I originally thought that this guardian was going to be a very simple, cute companion that tags along us, guiding us throughout the game. Instead though, this guardian seems to be far more important than we imagined. And to relist how important these are, remember, this is a guardian that was stored away in Zelda's research room, awoke from Zelda's awakening powers, somehow resonating with the power of wisdom from the Triforce, and creating time-traveling portals that it attempts to time travel and change the fate of Hyrule. So if the Sheikah did have a last resort, this was it. This was truly their last resort. They really, really tried to have Hyrule not fail, yet it still failed. Or maybe it didn't, who knows? Could this thing just be there to be cute and get us through the game? Or could this be what changes the destiny of Hyrule? What do you guys think? I imagine there are tons more theories out there, so please let me know what your guys' are, and let me know if you agree with any of mine in this video. In general, there is a lot of hype for this game, regardless of this game being connected to Breath of the Wild or not, and it most likely is, as that's how Nintendo marketed it, so unless Nintendo gives us that insane plot twist, we can only expect otherwise. But I want to bring these theories to light to see what you guys think, and overall I couldn't help but not speculate this, as this is just overall such a strange outcome that we see that we didn't imagine actually happening in the Great Calamity. Regardless of what we figure out from this game's story, which I cannot wait to cover when the game's officially out, all we know is that this is gonna be a wild ride. Either we will see a change to Hyrule's fate, or the most tragic event throughout Hyrule's history unfold in front of us. Overall, this game is gonna be insane. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching, and be sure to stay tuned for more Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity content. I will actually be let's playing the game on release, and we actually have part 1 already out, as the demo is of the actual first chapter, so I was able to play through part 1, and we'll probably have part 2 before the game's out, and expect the rest of the let's play to come out after the game is released. Anyways, as always, I've been Zelda Master, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!